at adjusting some shapes even more. So for example, let's say I want to make a star, but I want it to have more arms than 5. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to create my star. There it is. I'm going to move it around, put it in the center here. Got a little baby star there, get rid of that. Okay, as you can see, I have my star, it's got 5 arms. If I double click on it, I get a new menu up here about things that I can change. First off, I could change it into just a regular polygon instead of a star. So you can use more of your regular polygons, but I want to keep it a star for now. And then on here, the next one we come to is corners. So I'm going to increase the number of corners to 9. And you can see it has now given me more arms for my star. Now I want to look at my spoke ratio. Spoke ratio just tells me how fat or skinny that the arms are going to be. So if I make them 0.75, it gets fatter. If I make it smaller, 0.25, they get skinnier. And I can use these little up and down arrows here to adjust that. Then you move on to rounded, which does exactly what it sounds like it does. How much rounded are the corners? 0 is for sharp. That's what I have right now is sharp. So if I increase it, that was quite a bit, I could turn it into something like a water droplet. The last one on here is randomized. This one I just call a hot mess of craziness because that's really all it does. Scatter randomly the corners and angles. So it does stuff like that, which is fine if you want to make something random. I am not too keen on the whole random one, so I usually leave that at 0. But I do like these other ones here. So that's how you would change your star to other things. Now let's say that, oops, put that back into a star. Let's make a new one. And we're going to put that back to 5. We're going to put that back to 0.5. And we're going to put that back to 0 for rounded. And we're going to turn it into a polygon. So now we have a regular polygon. Let's move you over here. Give the polygon, it gets to be the star now. We'll even change its color. But again, double click on it. I can change the amount of corners. So let's say that I want to make an octagon. I'm going to change it to 8. Now it is an octagon. If I want to round my corners, or I want to bring them back in, now we're more like a star again if we do that. But I can round them and I can randomize also. Okay, we're going to learn about nodes and how to actually pinpoint our changes that we make, but for now we've got these menus up here. Now let's look at what we can do to things like squares. So I'm going to move that out of the way, make a square or a rectangle. Here's a rectangle, and as you can see, my corners are kind of rounded. It looks like I have already been in here and adjusting it. Same thing, double click on it, new menu. Right here is my width and my height, so I could make those as specific as I want. I want it to be 75 millimeters by 30 millimeters. And then this RX right here is the horizontal radius of my rounded corners. So if it's 0 and my vertical radius is 0, everything has sharp corners. Notice I can't change the amount of corners on this because this is a rectangle tool. It is not a polygon tool. That's for the star. But if I want to round my corners to make it look nicer, I can do that. There we go. And so you can see how it adjusts those different corners. That's here, here is. So I can make myself an even oval with that if I want, or I can just make a rounded rectangle. So those are some of the things that you can do where you get your different menus. The last one to look at, I would say, is a circle. So let's grab a circle, or an oval, I should say. Fix the fill and stroke on it. Okay. Oops. Get my selection tool out, and I'm going to double click on it. And again, I have new things to change. And this one's very interesting because you have the angle in degrees. So if I change this, let's say to 2.0, notice I get like a teeny tiny Pac-Man mouth from there. And now I can grab those balls and use those to help me, and it changes that start and end. So here's my one of these is my start, one of these is my end. I also can change the type of circle it is. Make this shape a whole ellipse. There it is. I put it back to whole again. That gives me my start and end back at 0. When I have this one, when it's a segment, that's when I can adjust it. Okay. So if I wanted to make a half circle, I could do all of those different types of things just by changing the start and end of my circles. So that's kind of the way you can pinpoint and manipulate your shapes so that they better fit what it is you're looking to make.